June 2023 by Soipan Tunya.
That's correct.
Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry.
That's correct.
The sixth respondent in this proceedings is who?
Is the president.
Then, where is the next?
I'll get there. I'll get there. Your Lordship, the cabinet under the Constitution is constituted of the president, and the cabinet secretaries appointed thereafter, and the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. That's Soipan Tuya is an agent of the presidency. Your Lordship, one of the issues that was before the impeachment was that the deputy president, the petitioner herein, indicated that Kenya is a shareholding country. There are shareholding agreements before you, and that positions either in parastatals or corporations were to be shared in accordance with that share agreement.
That is the reason why his client got impeached.
You will be given an opportunity to ask my case, you will be given an opportunity to respond. Even if you are eating, Mr. Yamondo, take your call. Your Lordship, it is by client submissions that Florence Auma Olwoch may have been a beneficiary of that shareholding. Your Lordship, finally, Your Lordship, we have.
It is extremely unfair and unjust, especially for an advocate to mislead or what you are saying to play to the gallery. Can you read paragraph 12 of the affidavit? So that he does, no. Yes. Let's hear it from him, where he says that the said board is chaired by the president, who has. So can you kindly do it properly so that you don't try to hide? No. Hold on.
Your Honor, the truth is, leadership and my lords, they will have time, as you say, to respond and say all these things. If he's saying nonsense, they will stand up and say so. But this constant interruption is intended to derail this hearing. Let them respond when their time comes. Yes.
And we have all the condescending nature of the respondents. Everybody here has been instructed by a client either to speak sense or nonsense. So that being the case, the condescending attitude is completely objectionable, and everybody should take their seat and use their time with the sense. If sense can only come from them, they do it during their time.
Thank you very much. Can I finish?
May I be protected by my application and the respondent be granted opportunity to respond?
Finish what I was saying.
You will have your time.
I know I will have to
respond.
But please, this is the application being presented. Let's not have other things that
has been served upon you.
I'm not accepting.
Just one thing.
Your Honor, if I'm allowed to just say something. Applicants finish their case and then people will respond. Because this interjections is just going to affect the conduct of the proceedings. It's very unfair. Let everybody have a chance. Each person has 10 minutes, others have 5 minutes. Let them utilize their time. But these objections in between is unfair and it's affecting the flow.
Come to court and say that.
This is what I want to say. Yes. They're all here. My plea is we conduct these proceedings in an orderly manner. As Professor Njiru used to remind us when we were in school, to be an advocate, you are a superior mortal. Can you just be slightly superior and deal with this thing in an intelligent way?
Mr. Ndegwa, you are many times to conclude.
I'm also obliged, Lordship. it may be noted that, Your Lordship, that the chair of this board is directly appointed by the President, the six respondents in this case. Your Lordship, may I submit again that the perception out there is that this bench has been constituted for a particular purpose. And the bench is just a mere conveyor belt, and that the parties herein will not have the chances to have justice of their case being dispensed. Your Lordship, I have annexed a tweet by senior counsel Ahmed Nasir, annexed in our affidavit at paragraph 12, and I wish to read that tweet, Your Lordship. Ahmed Nasir, Your Lordship, is a senior member of this bar, a senior counsel, and Your Lordship, here it goes. The conservatory orders will be discharged by the 3-judge bench, latest by next week, if not by Friday. Even as we approach you, Your Lordship, the perception out there is that this bench is part of the conspiracy.
Ahmed Nasir is not the law.
Your Lordship,
He speaks not to the law. Ahmed Nasir has also an affidavit. He's not a witness, my lord. How does Ahmed Nasir, and we have 64 senior counsel, how does Ahmed Nasir, how can his tweet inform submission before this court?
may I answer that, Your Lordship, to the good professor, that we are speaking about perception. The standard of a bystander, the reasonable man, a fair-minded man in the status and the character of a senior counsel, Ahmed Nasir says, and the president's lawyer says, we cannot receive justice. That is the standard. Your Lordship.
Ahmed Nasir says that this court will quash.
Mr. Otienda, you have your time to respond.
No, but the point is, he then speaks in your favor. Pick that line.
You will not teach me how to submit. You will pick the line that you so wish. For me, I am saying, Your Lordship, that the perception out there is that this bench has been constituted as a conveyor belt. Finally, Your Lordship, this court will remember that on the 16th of October, we moved the court for a mention on the 18th. The court declined to grant that mention and slated our file to be mentioned on the 29th of October. But when they were moved by parties in these proceedings, the court was generous and gracious enough even to sit on a weekend, to sit on a Saturday. Noting that we were before you, you slated our matter for the 29th, and never saw the urgency. Your Lordship, how can a fair bystander be convinced that this court will dispense with substantive justice? How can it be said that this court is impartial? Your Lordship, the question of a spouse being linked to a judge, as indicated by Rules 47, is of paramount importance and something that cannot be ignored. Why did the court disclose to us? Why did the court conceal? If the court can conceal such kind of apparent evidence, what else is it capable of concealing? Your Lordship, permit me to indicate that in our affidavit that we wish to expunge paragraph 16 of our affidavit, supporting affidavit, will not rely on it, and paragraph 10 of the same affidavit will not rely on the same. But the standard, Your Lordship, is that of a bystander. Ahmed Nasir spoke, and he has a following of over 1 million on his Twitter handle. That is, the perception has been created to the Kenyans that this bench, 1, is a conveyor belt, 2, it is considered for a particular mission. 3, it's part of the conspiracy. Your Lordship, we urge you to uphold our application and grant the prayers sought. Your Lordship, my learned friend Mr. Masharia will highlight on the authority with the authority in support of my submissions and those of Kide.
A slight clarification on expansion. Paragraphs 10 and 16, if I had properly.
Yes, that's correct.
Of people supporting affidavit.
That's correct.
I don't know whether we can do that through oral submission. You cannot expurge a paragraph from an affidavit as it is evidence before the court, and it has to be considered, it has to be challenged in all ways. Number 2, if you expurge paragraph 16,
can you cover it in the response, please?
I may,
Yes,
but
it's just
if you expurge 16, I have a problem with that. There is no application before you. If you expurge paragraph 16 from the affidavit, there is no application has been urged before you. So we know this clarification. Let's not take things lightly.
Yes, Your Lordship, yes, it is true that the paragraph that I seek to expurge is paragraph 16.
Paragraph 16 of this affidavit, my view.
Whose affidavit? The way affidavit. The applicant's affidavit. That is Obuli Namenya.
My Lord, permit me the my Lord, again, because we have to be fair to the court, my colleague has to be candid and confirm to the court. The reason he is withdrawing that paragraph 16 is because the claim there is factually false. Because he can't just withdraw and leave the world thinking
I have not seen that paragraph 16. Can you read it? The paragraph 1.
Your Lordship, are you having the same application?
Read as paragraph 10, which you have to withdraw, and paragraph 16, so that we can consider if it can be withdrawn.
Yes.
and confess it's a lie.
We give Mr. Ndegwa, my lord, your leadership the opportunity to finish.
Yes. Let me read those paragraphs
Yes,
so that we can sit down.
not my thing. I'm just saying, protect him from these tutorials that he's getting from this.
Let's read as paragraph 10.
Your Lordship, I wish to say that most respectively, I wish to say no more with respect to the paragraph.
This direction to court, read paragraph 10.
16, or paragraph 16,
Paragraph 10.
May I have some peace, Your Lordship? How many people are in conduct of this trial, Your Lordship?
Listen.
Who is in conduct?
Listen. Njiru,
Yes, Your Lordship, I'll read.
you have applied to expand
Yes, Your
paragraph 10 and paragraph 16.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Can you read those paragraphs which you intend to expand?
Your Lordship, paragraph 16 says that.
Paragraph 10.
And Your Lordship, may I take note that these paragraphs have been expunged.
One, we have to expunge those paragraphs.
That has been an application to expunged them. The petitioners have credible information that Honorable Mrima is a close associate to the proposed deputy president, one Mr. Kidore Kindiki, and that the said judge failed, refused, or neglected to disclose those facts to the parties at the inception. The basis of the application to expunge that particular paragraph is on the basis that the same has been linked to the affidavit sworn in petition 015. Paragraph 16, that Lady Justice Mugambi is convicted as she should excuse herself, as she was Mr. Kidore Kindiki's LLM student at Moi University.
You have no LLM program at Moi University.
You will have your time to submit, sir. And that's why I'm expanding. That's why I'm expanding this paragraph. That is what my client said. A crucial issue that she failed and or refused to disclose to the parties. My client has learned that she was not an LLM there and that she only took her degree in that university.
We have no objection to anything being expunged, subject to the court observing that if this witness has lied about these two issues, what else has he lied about?
Some issues to be made.
In a ruling, because the application has been made and the response is there, that we decline the invitation to expand this paragraph, they will remain as part of the record.
We are most obliged.
Dr. Kamuna, we would appreciate if you want to address us in the course of the as in your submitting. Is that the position?
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
Is that if there is a party,
Are you supporting the motion?
I'm supporting my land friends, complaint to Ndegwa and Njiru as land friends.
You need to go.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, my senior. My lords, I'll take about 15 minutes. Mercifully, my issues are issues of law. They will not incite any shooting up from a respondents. We should not. My lords, my lords in the leadership, I have submitted some two cases. The first